Hi everyone, and welcome back to our channel, or welcome to our channel if you're new. For today's video, we'll be diving into this look that I have on my face today. So basically, it's a very Valentine's Day, very festive Valentine's Day look. So it's a very cranberry, glittery type of eye look, paired off with a very glossy nude lip. I wanted something for this Valentine's Day to be a little more underplayed, so that's why I didn't go for a bold lip. Instead, I went for more bolder eyes. So I hope you guys like this look, and if you'd like to see how to get this look, then please keep on watching. Alright, so first up, I'm going to prime my face with the Too Faced Hangover RX Face Primer. And of course, you know, guys, that this is my ride or die. I don't use anything else but this to prime my face. I'm then going to go in with a new foundation called the Maybelline Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation. So this Maybelline Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation I bought probably like a month ago, and I've been using it ever since. I've been using it for work primarily because it's concealer and it's also foundation. So it's a 2-in-1, so basically when you put it on, you don't really have to put on concealer, and it just makes my routine a lot faster, especially when I am going off to work. So I highly recommend this foundation. I still love the Makeup Forever Ultra HD, but I've been using this one a lot more, so we're going to use it today. Alright, so now moving on to applying the foundation to my face. Now, I'm sure you guys have noticed already that the color looks a bit light for my skin tone. It's actually just a shade lighter than my skin tone, but it oxidizes very close to my skin tone, if that makes any sense. So it's very close to my skin tone, but I think if I had a shade darker, it might be the perfect shade. Alright, so next up I'm going in with my Age Rewind Concealer. Now I know that this is a Conceal and Perfect foundation, but I still need a little concealer under my eyes. So we're just going to apply that like I do normally. Now there's one thing I'm going to do differently in my routine, which is use this e.l.f. HD finishing powder, and this is in the shade Clear, so it's a transparent loose powder for the face. So this e.l.f. finishing powder is somewhat like a setting powder for me now. So I've been using loose powders, which I'll get into in some later on videos, but right now I've been using a lot of this e.l.f. loose powder, and basically what I do is I take a little bit on my beauty blender like this, and I just pack it right underneath my eye. And what this is gonna do is that it's gonna kind of set that area, and I'm also going to bring that out as well, and you're just going to bring it out onto the face. Now I'm using this more than a finishing setting powder like I normally do, like my Maybelline Fit Me. I'm using this because it seems to do a really good job of mattifying the face. So this makes your face look very matte and smooth. So my camera won't show up, but it usually you could see a little bit of my pores, especially in this area right here. And basically when I put this on, it smooths out that entire area. So it's a really good powder. I've been using it for probably 2 weeks now, and I really like it. And I'm going to continue using it. It does last a very long time. I go through like a regular work day with it, and it kind of stops my foundation from creasing and my concealer, and it also stops the oiliness in my face, because normally my face gets pretty oily by like halfway through the day, and on lunch I usually just pat some of this over my face once again just to mattify it and keep my face looking fresh. So bottom line, I really do love this finishing powder. It's something new and it's been working really well for me. And definitely if you're not one to completely bake your under eyes, this is a really good method that works out really well as opposed to baking and putting a lot of heavy powder underneath the eye. Going in with my Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Granite. Alright, so I went ahead and did my eyebrows off camera because I normally do my eyebrows the same way. I use the same Brow Wiz and I just shape them up the same way. Until I change my routine, I'm going to be skipping the brows every time I do tutorials. If you guys still want to see how I do my brows, or you want to see a dedicated video to that, then please let me know in the comments down below. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to eyes, and I'm taking the shade Peachy Keen from my Morphe 35M palette. And this is a very nice transition shade. I use this shade all the time and I haven't even hit pan on it yet. So I'm using this in my crease, and I'm using light strokes just to blend it out nicely into my skin. Now you want to keep layering this up until you get the shade that you're happy with. I wanted to layer it up very dark before I started adding more shades on top. So I'm just buffering in a lot here, as you can see. And I'm also going to do that on the other side as well. You also want to bring that color up to the brow bone just a little bit, just so that it blends out nicely and doesn't have any harsh lines from the line of your crease to your brow bone area. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with a different palette. So I recently for Christmas got this Tarteist Pro Remix palette. So it's the Tarteist Pro palette but a remix. So basically the colors are a bit more vibrant, and sorry about the mirror guys, but basically the colors are a lot more vibrant, and they're very like shimmery and just really bright glittery shades. So I thought this was a really good palette to pick up, especially doing more elaborate looks. I really want to do a lot more with color this year for like makeup tutorials and just in general whenever I go out. So that's why I picked up this palette, and the colors are really great, with the exception of a couple of colors that are a bit patchy, but most of them are so smooth and buttery and they work really well. The only thing I'd say is that I think there needs to be a little more matte shades in here, but I guess because it is a pro remix, they wanted more vibrant and more crazy shades in this palette. So I'm gonna stop rambling. Basically, I really like this palette and I'm gonna start using it a lot more often in more tutorials. So the first shade I'm gonna go in with is this one here called Mixed Media. Now Mixed Media is a very like dusty, like peach, almost like a cream shade more, not even peach, but like a cream shade. And I'm just going to apply this all over my lid to start off. So right where I didn't really put any of the brown from the Morphe palette, I'm gonna add in some of Mixed Media. Alright, so now I'm going in with Mixed Media from the palette, and I was very disappointed with this shade. As you can see here, it's not even coming up on my lid. Maybe a eyeshadow primer might have fixed this, but it just wasn't showing up right, and it wasn't working out for the look I was going for. So after trying to get it in the inner corner of my lid, I decided to leave it alone and come back to it a little later. So now I'm taking the shade Sweet Beets from the 35M palette. Now this is a kind of like beets sort of color, so it's a very nice kind of darkish magenta. So I'm taking that and I'm layering it right on top of Peachy Keen. Now the reason I'm doing this is to mesh the two colors together to make a gradient effect. So when you mix these sort of colors together, especially Morphe eyeshadows, because they're really pigmented and they merge really well together, it's just going to give off a different sort of tone for the two colors that you have on your eyes. Now as you can see here, it gives off a kind of warm cranberry sort of color, and that's exactly what I was going for to start off this look. I'm then going straight back into the palette, and I'm taking the shade Candy Crush, which I know on camera doesn't look any different than Sweet Beets, but it's a little bit lighter and it has a little bit of a lighter tone as well. So I'm taking that and I'm pushing that straight into the center of my lid and kind of buffing it out onto the crease as well. Now what this is going to do is going to give that gradient effect that I'm looking for, but it's also going to bring out more of the pink that I'm looking for this look. I'm then going back again into the palette and then I'm taking Peachy Keen once again, and we're just going to bring back that shade because it kind of got lost in all of the pink. So as you can see, I'm taking a very light hand and adding that straight on top of the brow bone area, almost up there, just so that I can bring back that brown color to bring some warmth back into the look. So now going back to that part that I was having so many issues with, I'm taking some concealer and just applying that generously into the inner corner. And then I'm going to try something a little bit different with this look. So I'm just layering that on top just so that I have enough there to hold what I'm about to do in place. Now, I know I'm trying to make this suspenseful, but pretty much all I'm doing is going into the palette, and I'm taking more of mixed media. Even though I don't like it, it's a very powdery shade, so I feel that if I put it on top of something that's more sticky, like concealer, it might work better. I don't know if that makes sense, but I tried it out and it actually did work. So I decided to add it straight on top. As you can see here, it doesn't do much, but it makes it a little bit more smooth. And then I'm going in with the shade Sway, which is a beautiful color from this palette, and it's a very, very pigmented color. Now you'll see here, with literally one swipe, it started to bring out that glitteriness, and I think because of how I layered the concealer and mixed media on top of each other and then added this, it really brought out the brightness in Sway. So it's a really great shade. I really do love this shade from the palette a lot, and as I said earlier, the shimmer shades in the palette are top notch. The mattes have a little left to be desired. So I'm just going in now with the shade Graffiti, which is a nice cranberry sort of glitter shade. And it's more subdued than Sway, so I'm using it more on the outer edge of my eye, kind of like a cut crease. It kind of started to look like that, but it's not really a cut crease, it just kind of looks like it. So I'm just adding that on the outside, and I'm blending it in with Sway just so that it doesn't look like it has much of a harsh line between one another. And then going back into the 35M palette again, and then I'm again taking Peachy Keen. As you can see, I use this shade a lot, and I'm just going to bring back some of that brown once again because I feel that that's very much necessary now that I have two shimmer shades on the lid. So I'm just bringing it back really close to the brow bone, just mixing it in with those two shades on my crease. I'm then taking a mixture of Peachy Keen and Candy Crush and mixing more of Candy Crush than Peachy Keen just to get a nice mixture that's going to be good for the lower lash line. Now, this worked out really well for me because it wasn't too much of the brown, otherwise I wouldn't have gotten the evenness of having the cranberry on top of my lid as well as on my lash line. So that came out quite well. I'm then going back in with Sway because I fell in love with it after using it on my lid. And I'm just going to apply this into my inner corner to just bring out the brightness and kind of connect the look together with my lower lash line. Sometimes when you do just the top of your lid and you leave the lower lash line, it kind of makes the look left incomplete, if you get what I mean. I'm then taking Inspiration, which is again another beautiful shade. This was also a good shade that you can use for highlighter, and I'm applying that just to kind of solidify and bring out more of the shimmeriness in the inner corner. You can't see it on my camera, but in person it's really blinding. I'm now moving on to bronzer. So for bronzer, I'm taking my Chocolate Soleil bronzer as per usual. And now I'm just applying this onto my cheekbones and all of the focal points of my face. So my forehead and on my cheeks and stuff. So as you can see here, I'm taking my beauty blender and just kind of like taking away the harshness from it. I'm then taking my Milani Baked Blush in the shade Berry Amour. This is a very beautiful blush, as you can see here. I love looking at it and showing it off on Instagram. But I'm going to apply this onto my cheeks. Now, I don't really make the whole smiley face when I do my cheeks. I don't know why. It's just not something that actually works for me. I just pretty much just add it straight on top of my bronzer. And you can see here that this is a very subdued sort of blush shade. I'm then going back in with Inspiration because honestly, it was one of my favorite shades from the palette besides Sway. And I'm applying this onto my brow bone. It's kind of hard to see on camera, of course, once again, but this is a very glittery look, especially in person. I'm then taking my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit, and I'm taking the shade Moonstone, which is perfect because it's a kind of rose gold sort of color. And I'm adding that onto my cheekbones. Now, I was going to add Inspiration to my cheekbones or even Sway on my cheekbones, but I thought it was a bit too much, so I wanted to kind of subdue it down with my normal Moonstone shade of highlight. I'm then taking my eyelash curler and curling my lashes. I know I hate doing this because it honestly scares me that one day I might just rip my eyelashes out. But I've been doing it for a while, so I got it under control. So I'm taking my Benefit Roller Lash and then I'm just applying that straight on top as quickly as possible just to keep my lashes in that curl before I go in with anything else. And although I didn't want any eyeliner for this look, I'm taking my 24/7 waterline eye pencil from Urban Decay, and I'm going to apply this on my lower lash line and a little bit of my upper lash line. Alright, so for this look, I'm not going to do any wing liner. I decided that I don't really want wing liner for this look, but you can always add wing liner if you choose to. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of cut off camera and put on my lashes, and I will be right back. Alright, so now that my lashes are on, I'm just applying some more mascara on top just so that it looks a little more dramatic. It's not going to look too dramatic because of the lashes that I have, but I think a dramatic lash would really push this look out. I'm then taking my Kat Von D liner, and I'm just going to apply a little bit into the inner corner because I felt like my eyes really needed that, even though I said I wasn't going to do liner. So I'm taking my Bow and Arrow lip liner from Kat Von D and my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dusty Rose liquid lipstick, and I'm just going to apply this combination to my lips. Now of course you can do a more dramatic lip or like a more bright lip if you'd like. I just wanted something a little more neutral. Alright, so now I'm taking this Buxom lip gloss. This is in the shade White Russian, and I'm just really gingerly applying this to my lips. I didn't want too much on there. I'm then taking my Urban Decay De-Slick Oil Control Setting Spray, and I'm going to apply this all over my face just so that all of this stays in place for the rest of the day and maybe even some of the night. So I'm going to then take off these bobby pins and kind of get my hair kind of zhuzhed up a little bit. I didn't really do much with it, just kind of loosely curled it. Alright guys, so this is the final look. As you can see, it's a really nice glittery cranberry / pink rose gold. I'm just bursting out adjectives, but basically it's just a really nice Valentine's Day, very pink type of eye look, and you have a nice nude / rosy type of glossy lip. Now of course you can go for a signature red bold lip if you really choose to, or you can go pink, you can even just make it a signature brown, or whatever suits your needs. A really cranberry type of lip would really go well with this look as well. I highly recommend doing that. But for the look that I'm going for, and just because I'm wearing a more casual type of outfit, I opted out for a very neutral lip and just making it all about the eyes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below what you thought of this look. Have you tried it out? And what you think of our channel. Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos every single week. Now, as Valentine's Day is over, by the time you're watching this, we are going to have a lot more going on in terms of DIYs and a lot of cooking videos as well. I'm going to try to push in some more makeup videos here and there. I want to start experimenting with the new palettes that I've gotten. So stay tuned for that. We'll let you know a little more about that on our social media pages, which will be listed in the description box below, as well as everything I've used today. So I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Happy Valentine's Day to those of you celebrating, and thanks for watching.